Recently, I feel like I haven't been able to escape the Amazfit T-Rex 3. Everywhere I went, it was there. In my comments, on the websites I visited, and on the YouTube channels I watch. I'd honestly never heard of Amazfit or the T-Rex 3. I know my son thinks that the T-Rex was the coolest of the dinosaurs. Whoa. But that was about as far as my knowledge went. I knew I had to learn more about this watch and get my hands on one. Thankfully, the 5K runner pointed out that it was available on sale for a recent Prime Day, and I had an Amazon discount to throw on top of it, so here's the Amazfit T-Rex 3. Let's get it unboxed and see what the fuss is about. Alright, here we are. We've got the Amazfit T-Rex 3 today. I just got this in. So let's go ahead, let's get this unboxed and take a look. Very nice. The very signature octagon watch face. That screen there, that's a 1.5 inch AMOLED screen. Just boot it up. Get it on it. Okay. There we go. There's the adapters. There's the charging puck. So I believe this is magnetic. So I guess you have to line it up. But let's see. Oh yeah. Yep. All right. Okay, now I want to start with the technical specs because this is the first half of why this watch is causing such a stir. The specs on this watch are industry leading. It's crazy to me. This watch packs a dual band GPS that they make a point to claim is tested to be more accurate than the competition. It has offline maps, it has navigation with routes, has an AI chatbot built in that's built on top of ChatGPT, so you could give commands to the watch or just ask general questions like you would to ChatGPT. The display, we're talking 1.5 inch OLED at 480 by 480 resolution and 322 ppi. The weight comes in at a not too heavy, roughly 69 grams. Now the battery, surely with all these features and a smooth interface, the battery's going to take a hit, right? Nope, the battery's stated value is at 27 days with typical usage and 13 days with heavy usage. Sensors built in are everything you'd expect: heart rate, SpO2, ECG, and blood pressure in approved countries, which the US is not one of them. And all the others like acceleration, gyroscope, geomagnetic, barometric, ambient light, and temperature. It connects with both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and it has a mic but no speaker. Oh, and diving? Yeah, it's certified for 45 meters. That's 5 meters more than another watch that recently came out. So I said the specs were the first reason this watch is causing a stir. Now, the second reason, the price on this bad boy. With all those sensors, multiband GPS, dive certification, offline maps, gorgeous display, unreal battery life, surely this is at least around the $700 mark like the Coros Vertix 2, or up north of that $1,000 mark like the Garmin Fenix? No, the retail on this watch is $279 US. It also recently went on sale for $250, and with a promotional Amazon discount, I got it at $210 plus tax. Okay, so where's the catch? This seems too good to be true, right? Well, I've had the watch for 3 days now, so we'll get to my early impressions in a minute, but first I've got to finish the overview. Okay, let's talk about the design next. This is a very distinct looking watch. It is, well, it's an octagon. I'm a fan of the shape. But honestly prefer my watches round like, normal watches. It doesn't shy away from its beefy bezels, which are stainless steel, and also sports a sensor guard on the right side like another multisport watch we've seen recently. There are outdoorsy looking accent bits all over the watch from the side of the body to the topo lines on the strap. Now, speaking of the strap that it comes with, it is a 22 millimeter silicone strap that is attached via proprietary screw mechanism. They include the tool to remove it as well as adapters to put in so that any 22 millimeter quick fit band would fit in here. On the back of the watch, you see the optical sensors, and that's also a good segue into the materials used on this watch. So you can see on the back here, it's all polymer. So while that can take away from some of the ruggedness, it also does decrease the weight. This is similar to the recently released Enduro 3. As I mentioned, the bezel is stainless steel and the display is Gorilla Glass. So while we're not at the titanium or sapphire level, these are very solid build materials. Okay, next to the UI and the navigation. Hopping into the UI, you get the option of a button-based usage of the watch or a touchscreen-based usage. Any direction you swipe will get you to a new screen. So pulling downwards brings up quick toggles for access to various settings. Swiping up from the bottom gets you to your shortcut cards, which are basically widgets or what we'd call glances on a Garmin. A swipe from the right gets you to your app list, and you can see there are quite a few to choose from here. A swipe from the left gets you to your phone notifications. And if you're using buttons to navigate, then the select button starts an activity. The back button brings up the app list. The up button gets you to quick toggles, and that down button will get you to the shortcuts. And finally, the watch faces do offer interactive complications, but you do not get any haptic feedback when you're selecting them. Okay, sports features up next. There's 177 available sports to track here. Now, are all of them custom profiles? No, of course not. There's literally 16 of them that are different types of dancing, including square dancing and pole dancing. Never want to hit a pole dance workout without your trusty T-Rex 3. And there's a multitude of other silliness like hula hooping, checkers, bocce, but all the normal sports you'd expect are there as well. Running, biking, swimming, lifting, all their respective variants. Being an outdoor-focused watch, there are activities for climbing, hiking, orienteering, and of course there's a large variety of other sports, ball sports, indoor sports, including even high rocks races. Anything you want, it's here. Fitness metrics tracked include training load, training readiness, recovery time, PAI, which is personal activity intelligence, calories burned, and other more wellness-oriented metrics like time spent sitting versus standing. Okay, now let's jump into the Zepp app, which is where you sync up all that data that the watch is generating. The app itself is pretty modern looking, and while there are a lot of options that you can display or not, it never seems too overwhelming. On your home tab, you get analysis like the training readiness, steps, sleep, heart rate, PAI, workout history, and more. You can customize how much or how little you want to show here. On the sleep tab, you get what you'd expect. A sleep score, duration, sleep stages, and some other health metrics as well. And on the workout tab, you get your history, your Zepp coach, more on that in a second, VO2 max, and EPOC, which is excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Basically the lasting metabolic effect that your workout has on your body, used as a means to estimate the difficulty of the workout and how you're recovering from it. Finally, on your profile, you can access additional watch faces, of which there are a ton of them. Some free, some are paid, but there's plenty of free ones. And of note, the level of customizability on these is not too high. Any that can be customized is really just a single field. Now, there's also an app store here, which has both entire apps as well as workout extensions, which seem to be new data pages to use within workouts, although I haven't gotten a chance to test these yet. One thing to know about the app experience is that they heavily use chatbots to guide you around the app in a conversational manner. You can pose questions about your health in general, about sleep habits, and even use it to construct a race plan with personalized guidance as the Zepp coach. There are paid options to get more in-depth access to the chatbots, which provide deeper insights, which I assume is the same as many companies that are using premium LLM software like ChatGPT that this is built upon, Gemini Pro from Google, etc., etc. One other important thing that ties into the app, and that's about maps and navigation. Now, the experience is not on par with a Garmin in that respect. It just isn't, and I guess that's okay. It's a different approach to maps that I still think is viable for many people and many use cases. You use your phone to select an area you would like to download to the watch, and that can include ski trails and topographical information as well. So this doesn't seem like a have all the topo maps of your continent on your wrist sort of watch. Furthermore, you can view things like streets, but it is possible that not all the trails could be on your map depending on the popularity of that trail. Finally, for navigation, you need to load in a GPX file to get your route, which isn't too different than a Garmin, but there is no automatic routing like what is available on a Garmin. I don't want to get too far into this on this overview video, but just know this is part of the experience, and it does seem lacking compared to a Garmin. And since this is being billed as an outdoor watch, it is worth noting even in the overview. Okay, overview complete. So how am I feeling so far, and where is the freaking catch? So real quick, before we jump into that, if you're enjoying the video, a thumbs up or a sub would be hugely appreciated. I put a lot of work into the video, and your support would mean a lot to me. Back to it. First off, I want to talk about the claimed battery life. I don't doubt that the watch can reach the claimed durations, but there's no magic going on here. The battery life gets extended exactly how you think it would. The main consumers of battery are the display and the health sensors. By default, the watch is on raise to wake, so that's the first huge battery saver. There is an always-on display option for all the watch faces, but it's quite basic compared to what you may get on something like Garmin. You can expect to see just the time. The time on for display is also set to, I think, 5 seconds by default, which I think is pretty short. So I have it set to 15. That's what I'm used to on my Garmin, and I thought it was a pretty good way to test it. I also have the display set to always be on during activities instead of race to wake. Now the next big battery eater with many fitness trackers is continuous heart rate tracking. Well, the T-Rex 3 by default checks your heart rate every 10 minutes. Now I put that to a 1-minute interval, which is the smallest interval offered. So it does not measure continuously during your day-to-day activities, but it does of course measure continuously during sporting activities. With all those battery eating options that I turned on, I went through a 48-hour period and the watch is down to 72% battery. So that's 28% used in that time, which included a GPS run as well as a gym workout. So this should put the battery on track for just over 7 days worth of life with those aggressive settings. Anytime I check the battery, the watch is eager for me to turn some of the features down and gives you step-by-step guidance to crank out more battery life. Now I have to admit, I never thought about the difference in tracking heart rate continuously versus sampling it once every few minutes, and wonder what is lost by tracking it less frequently just during the day as you're going about your day. Regardless, I like the ability to tweak all these settings up or down to manage the amount of metrics you'd like to be gathering or the amount of battery life that you would like to get out of the watch. And just how accurate are all these sensors and GPS? I've been Johnny 2 watches for a while, and at any random time of the day, if I look down at the heart rate, they're the same. My sleep scores and statistics have been largely the same compared to the Garmin, and while I've seen others complain about it not catching any nighttime wake-ups, I haven't seen that issue myself. It seems to be pretty accurate. On the 2 runs I've been on so far, the heart rate and cadence have been nearly identical, and that includes using an HRM Pro Plus strap as a control monitor. For some reason, the GPS has been off by 0.03 on one run and 0.04 on the other, and so because of that, that affected the overall pace as well. I need a little further testing to see if anything's actually off, or maybe the GPS is more accurate on this than it is on the Garmin. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, so what is the catch? I'm still not sure. You'll have to stay tuned for the full review to find out. Maybe there is one, maybe there's not. Right now, I think this watch is amazing. Alright, sorry, I had to. But it is a pretty good experience so far, and I won't even throw the caveat of saying a pretty good experience for the price. That's always in the back of my head how good of a bargain this is compared to other similarly spec'd watches, but I don't see too many places where corners are cut compared to those much more expensive watches. And the areas where they have opted for more cost-efficient approaches, the cost to benefit ratio seems pretty darn acceptable to me. The UI is intuitive and responsive, the specs are fantastic, the sports and health tracking seem to be accurate. As a Garmin user for the last 7 years, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you're looking for a rugged, multi-band GPS sports watch with a great display and a good to great battery life, this should be one of the watches you're considering. If you made it to the end, thanks so much for hanging with me today. I appreciate you and hope you got something out of the video. If you have questions about the watch you want me to cover in the full review, please be sure to drop them in the comment section. If you have the watch and want to provide some of your own feedback, please do. And finally, regardless of what watch you own or how you approach your fitness, what do you think about watches with seemingly high-end specs and functions coming to the market at these very competitive price points? How do you see that affecting the overall sports watch market? I'm most eager to hear about that, so definitely let me know. And as always, I'm Dave, and this is Dave Does Fitness. Have an awesome day and stay fit.